Plague Diamond submachine guns have been unlocked. This looks absolutely beautiful. I wish I didn't put the sight on it. This one was fun to unlock. Anyways, I thought I'd show gameplay first so that way you guys can actually see it in game. It looks just as good as it does in the menu screen. And yeah, so I'm going to talk about some tips and tricks on getting this skin as quickly as possible. So let's go hop over to the camos. Alright, so as you can see, I got all of my weapons past the level 50 mark, and then I worked my camos. So pretty much what I'm doing, or what I did, is I just focused on leveling up the weapons as quickly as possible, and then I focused on unlocking the camos. Now, they did fix the XP in zombies, so grinding zombies is not such a bad thing to do anymore for grinding up your weapon levels and working on the challenges. But I just kind of like doing the level 50 and then working all the challenges all at once, because I feel like some of these challenges are the most easiest things to ever get done, just ever. Now, submachine guns were a little tough with some of these challenges, and then others, they just weren't that tough at all. But I'm going to give you some tips and tricks for each one of these challenges. So let's go ahead and talk about these challenges. First things first, I'm going to talk about, before I actually get into challenges, I'm going to talk about a little quick tips and tricks here. Field upgrade, right? Run Ring of Fire. Now, obviously, if you guys didn't know, you can actually change your field upgrade between matches or between games and stuff like that. So if you want to run the healing, you run the healing until you pack a punch your gun, until you're pretty much settled, and then your trains are fresh and good. Once your trains are fresh and good, switch it over to the Ring of Fire just by changing your class. It's not going to change your gun, but you'll change your class. Switch over to the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire, especially at the later rounds, is going to make you do massive amounts of damage, and on top of that, in the later rounds, it instantly kills the zombies that enter it. So it's like a free killing spree. It's like having insta kill without needing to worry about getting hit, because what you do is you set up your train, you just, as soon as you activate Ring of Fire, you stand right in the center and you just melt things. Bosses go down in a heartbeat. I was at wave 38 yesterday, and I was using a maxed out pack-a-punch gun and literally melting bosses, just melting them with the Ring of Fire. So I'd recommend, once you get your train settled, or if you're just, you're decently good at the game and you know how to train, just run Ring of Fire. Make sure you get it to tier 3. Next thing I'm going to talk about is going to be perks real quick here. Let's go to skills, go to perks. All right, I prioritize stamina up, speed cola, and deadshot daiquiri. Those are my 3 go-tos, and I try to get as quickly as possible. Deadshot's huge because of its first thing. If you want to do anything when it comes to deadshot daiquiri, just unlock that first point, which is deals 100% extra critical damage if an enemy is at full health. And what that means is you're going to deal 100% extra headshot damage, which is insane, because usually the submachine guns max out at about 3,000 damage once they're completely packed and everything. So you're doing 6,000 damage right off the rip, because you're doubling that damage. You're doing an extra 100% damage, which is crazy. I'm telling you, especially when you got those big, hefty, juicy trains going on, and you turn around and combo that with freaking your Ring of Fire, it's over. There's nothing surviving. I'm guaranteeing you it. Nothing is surviving. All right, and next thing is going to be Speed Cola. It just helps you swap your weapons faster. But the most important thing about this is not even that the fact that you reload faster. It's the second ability, which is field upgrades recharge 20% faster. As soon as you get this going, that means you're going to get your Ring of Fire 20% sooner. So you're going to see, when you have Speed Cola, your Ring of Fire doesn't need to be whole. It's going to be like this much, and then you can use it. So it's actually worth getting this immediately, so that way you can continuously and consistently use your Ring of Fire, which is huge. And then next on the list is stamina up, and that's just for speed, especially for that first ability, which is increased back pedal speed, which means when you're moving backwards and you're like shooting enemies and stuff like that, you're keeping that speed up, which is very important. And obviously, you know, run Juggernaut and stuff like that. But those are the perks I prioritize first. Speed Cola and Deadshot Daiquiri are my like go-tos. Stamina Up is my other go-to. And honestly, you can get Juggernaut for free just by doing the Easter egg. So I always do the Easter egg as soon as I turn on the Pack-a-Punch, which is absolutely huge. Now talking about the camos themselves, and then I'll give some tips on maybe attachments and things of that nature. But let's go ahead and touch on these camos now. All right, so first on the list is going to be getting kills. All right, get 2,500 kills, and then we'll talk about this one too. Get 2,500 headshots. We'll talk about this one too. Get 2,500 Pack-a-Punch kills. So my thing is, I get the Pack-a-Punch turned on by round 5. I just do that by careful placements, trying not to buy trying not to buy any ammo, just literally just trying to kill everything, and with a little bit of RNG, because sometimes you get the double points, sometimes you get the, you know, bonus points, so that's kind of helps a little bit, but usually by round 5, round 6, I always have that Pack-a-Punch on, and that's what I do, especially when I'm working these 3 challenges here. I try to get the Pack-a-Punch turned on as soon as possible, so that way not only does my gun melt them, but I'm also working these 3 challenges. I'm working my 2,500 Pack-a-Punch kills, and I'm working the headshots, and I'm working these. The best things for this, guys, is I'm going to honestly say this, is sit inside of the high rounds. Now, you can rack up quite a bit of kills in the 20 waves of zombies. Now, there's a little mode right here. I'll show you. This mode here, machining, whatever, I can't talk. I'm running on low sleep. This mode right here is super great because yes, you're with 4 other players, but like the rounds intensify quite quickly. By the time you know it, you're in the high rounds, and rounds 15 I've went from having 150 kills to having 400 kills in like rounds 15 to 20. So having 400 kills on a game mode that doesn't last that long, you know, it's actually pretty good. On top of that, you know, you're working your kills, you're working your challenges and all that other stuff. Now the good thing about this mode and playing with other players, because I know you guys are probably like, oh, but if I play with other players, they're all gonna steal my kill. The awesome thing about this is that you can actually just shoot targets and you don't even have to kill them, and you end up actually getting credit for the elims. Now that's a good and a bad. The bad thing about it is you're not gonna get the headshot, so that's where it kind of sucks. So again, that's a mode you can run. That's a mode that will definitely help you get rack up those kills. But all in all, I would say the best thing to do for these modes is definitely a solo. Now, if you have a teammate or if you have somebody that can play with you and jump in with you and go AFK, that's probably your best bet because you're going to get like twice the amount of zombies at such a fast rate, so you can actually rack up these kills extremely quickly. So that is a super, super good tip right there. Next is going to be the boss one, which we'll talk about at the end because I feel like, honestly, out of all the challenges, this one has got to be the most annoying and probably hardest one to get done. Next is this one, which is get 10 kills rapidly 10 times with the MP5 in zombies. That's extremely easy. You can start that from wave 1. Literally on wave 1, start your train, or actually wave 3, start training, and you'll get this challenge done so fast, I'm telling you, because that one's easy. Get 3 or more critical hit kills rapidly. That's another thing too. By wave 3, start your trains and literally just line up for the heads. Now, guys, headshots are important. I cannot stress this enough. I've played with a lot of people before, especially in the 20 round wave thing. I've played with a lot of people, and I'll see my score, and I'll have like 500 kills and like 380 headshots. And then second place will have like 500 kills and then 50 headshots. And I'm like, you're wasting so much ammo and so much time by not getting headshots. Do yourselves a favor, guys. Go after headshots. If you go after headshots, not only will you be getting these challenges done, but if your gun is leveled up, you also get this challenge done super quickly too, especially when you start your trains, because get 3 or more critical hits kills rapidly. That's the easiest thing in the world. As soon as you start a train going, you know, you're going to have more than 3 zombies in that pile. So if you end up getting 20 kills rapidly, that's, you know, you're getting most of these challenges. Yeah, you're getting most of them done already. You're getting this one done already. Next on the list is Infection, which is get 20 or more consecutive kills without getting hit 10 times in zombies. Again, start this at like wave 3. Literally by wave 3, you're starting big trains. By wave 1, you can kill in wave 1, make sure you don't get hit, and you can literally get this challenge done probably before you even turn on the pack-a-punch. I'm not even kidding about that because I did that. So and then what else we got here? Now let's finish off talking about the bosses. Now for the bosses, why is this the hardest one? Oh, BEARDZ, the bosses are hard. No, the bosses are not hard. They're the easiest thing in the world to deal with. The hard part is just getting them to spawn. 15 elite eliminations can be an absolute drag, and I do not recommend, again, I'm going to say this again, I do not recommend trying to do this in solos. I tried doing this in solos with a gun that only had about 3 elite eliminations, and I had to go all the way to like waves 48 to get this done. It's atrocious, the spawn rate for the bosses, especially when you really need those elite eliminations. Now, if you have no choice, and if you're like, I need to do a solo BEARDZ, I don't like playing with other people, my recommendations is go through waves 1 through 5 or 1 through 6, turn the pack-a-punch on immediately, and I mean immediately, because as soon as you turn that on, what's going to happen is you're going to get a dog round and then followed by a boss round. So by round 7, 8, you might have a boss already, which is perfect because then once you kill that boss, you can quit and then restart and do it again. That's a method, that's a consistent method, but it's definitely a slow method, and I don't recommend it too much. The next thing you could do is hop into let's go lobby here. Hop into the 20 rounds. When you hop into the 20 rounds, you're going to get a lot of bosses. I think you get like 3 or 4 bosses during the boss rounds, which is crazy because, it's 4 players, so they're trying to match that and stuff like that. It doesn't start right off the rip with bosses and stuff, but once you get that build up, you're getting like 3 bosses, 4 bosses, which is insane. But the cooler part is if you shoot the main boss and if you shoot the 2 split parts, like if you just tap them each, that counts as an elim once they're dead. So whether you kill them or you don't, it counts, which means you can actually rack up boss kills in this mode. You can go through this mode as soon as bosses spawn, go help out your team, you shoot them. You don't have to stress about trying to kill them. Whoever kills them, whatever, you're still getting a kill you're still getting an elite elim towards that challenge, which is super awesome to do. Now, the next thing, and I think this is the best method, absolute best, is actually join a game with a buddy, whether it be 1 friend, 2 friends, or 3 friends. Say, hey, can you join me some zombies for a little bit? You can work on kills or you can go AFK. If they go AFK, even better for you. If they don't go AFK, just tell them like, hey, I just need the boss kills. So you can kill as many zombies as you want, do your own thing. But as soon as the boss rounds start, I just need boss kills. What happens is when you join with a teammate in this, you end up getting 2 bosses around. And then in the higher rounds by like waves like 20-ish, late 20-ishes, 30-ishes, you start getting 3 bosses, which is insane. You start racking up that challenge quickly. I got this challenge done extremely fast by going into a zombies with poison, my wife, and yeah, super easy, and I'll never go back. I'll never try doing the boss rounds another way. There's just no way I'm going to do it another way. But that's pretty much it for the camo challenges. Hopefully that helps you. So attachments are all about preference, all about what you want to work with and rock with. Me, I try to make the guns look as ugly as possible because I'm a psychopath like that. But pretty much I just put on the weirdest looking attachments and I call it a day. But I would say there's 2 very important attachments that you really want to probably prioritize and put on your guns, which is definitely going to be a sight. I would say put on a sight just so that way you can really prioritize getting those headshots. Don't put on something too big. Like the 2x scope, I absolutely love this thing, but in zombies where you really need to keep your vision kind of open, this thing could be an absolute nightmare for you. So I like running either the diamond back reflex or the fast point reflex. I like these 2. They're kind of my favorite. So getting those headshots. Another thing I recommend for the optics too that people don't realize, again, this is personal preference, but I actually like it a lot, which is I like running the pit boss crosshair. The reason why is because it keeps a little box, and in that little box you can see the zombie's face, so you know exactly where you're shooting and stuff like that. And I think it's pretty much like a little cheat code, because it's like, you know, like, oh, that's a headshot. You just know instantly. You don't have to line up a dot or whatever. It's just like a box. So I think it's pretty rad. And next thing is muzzle. Muzzle doesn't really matter. You can go with increased equipment drop rates or whatever. I'd say go after vertical recoil control. When it comes to submachine guns, you definitely want to do anything for recoil control. So I ran pretty much the SOCOM Eliminator until I just went wild and ran the agency suppressor. But yeah, you just want to go after things with recoil control, because these things kick so much. So going after those headshots can be quite a nuisance. Barrel, if you don't like the task force, run the task force. If you don't like the task force, you can run the rifle, you can run the ranger. These really don't matter. They're personal preference. If you're struggling against armored zombies, then run the cavalry lancer. That you unlock that quite soon. So, but yeah, personal preference there too. The body, either go mounted flashlight, or go tiger team spotlight, or go M-bar sighting. So go anyone that has increased salvage drop rate. That's very important, because you need to make sure you're getting that salvage, so that way you can upgrade your gun as quickly as possible. So that way you're not trying to worry about getting a rare bullfrog from the box, because if you're trying to get guns from boxes just because of rarity, you might be there for a while. Whereas if you upgrade your gun, you can get your gun to blue quite quickly, and yeah, that's definitely the way to go. Under barrel, again, I go after recoil control things. My go-to is the field agent grip. I think this thing is absolutely awesome. You're going to get vertical recoil control and horizontal recoil control, so my go-to there. Magazine size, I always go with the biggest magazine possible. So running the Salvo 40 round fast mags is nice, and trust me, I love that. But personally, I like doing things like the Snagniv 50 round drum, just because, yeah, it's like minus reload quickness. But as soon as you use speed cola, as soon as you pack a punch this thing, you're gonna have like 100 rounds, and it's just gonna be beautiful. You're gonna decimate anything in your path. So always go with the biggest rounds. Trust me on that. Handle, go with anything with ADS speed. I think that's super important. So start with speed tape and pretty much don't change it until you get to jungle grip, and then go up from there. And then the stock, I always like to run no stock and on all of my guns, just because sprint to fire time plus 30%, especially with all the other stuff you put on, you're kind of hitting that sprint to fire time, so that just brings it right back, which I think is very important. And that's pretty much it for attachments. You could pretty much run those same attachments on every one of the submachine guns. Like I said before, and I'll say it again, all the submachine guns like to kick a lot. That's just what they do, and it's unfortunate. So the best thing to do is definitely run attachments that help with that recoil control. Sight's completely up to you. Ball and all, the whole thing is actually completely up to you. Because I could say run guns with attachments or blah, 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 but you can run attachments exactly the way you want to run them. If you want to run no attachments, go for it. All I'm here to do is give you advice and give you some tips on unlocking the play diamond for the submachine guns. But pretty much, guys, that is it. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I did, then I'll probably come back later and say something. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we are on to the tac rifles. And as always, guys, stay positive. Peace out.